Good morning, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another edition of Classic Album Rewind, the show that we've been doing. We did all throughout the month of June here in 2021. We're going to do it for a couple more days here at the beginning of July. It is July 1st. Where did June go? I don't know. Just like that, it's gone. So for the next couple days, we're going to do a couple more of these Classic Album Rewinds. And on July 6th, we're going to start favorite bands A through Z, each and every day, one letter of the alphabet, one favorite band, and my favorite album by that band, as well as a runner-up. So that's starting next week, so stay tuned for that. But while we continue on with this Classic Album Rewind, I think today's choice is a perfect example of a really, really strong album that follows what many people consider perhaps their best album, or maybe their most successful album. But I think this album is perhaps equally as good. I listen to it more, to be quite honest with you. Released March 1st, 1974 for Capitol Records. Produced by none other than Todd Rundgren. We are talking Shinin' On by Grand Funk Railroad. Okay, so of course this follows up We're an American Band, which was, after, Grand Funk were very, very popular very early on. They sold a lot of records, sold a lot of concert tickets, with their first handful of albums. Then they hit kind of a little bit of a lull, right? As many bands do back in that era. You have 3, 4, 5 successful albums in a row, and then, you're going to kind of slip back down to earth, so they say. But then, they hooked up with Todd Rundgren. They added Craig Frost on keyboards to the original trio of Mel, Don, and Mark. And all of a sudden, hooked up with Rundgren and put out We're an American Band. This did gangbuster business, right? Hit singles, FM classics, great rock record, right? Band's, sound is a little bit more mainstreamy by this time, but it's still Grand Funk Railroad. So they follow that up with Shinin' On. Again, they figure, you know what? It worked so well with Todd. We're going to do it again. So again, you got Mark Farner on guitars, lead vocals, organ, a little bit of harmonica, Craig Frost, organ, clavinet, Moog synthesizer, piano, mellotron backing vocals, Mel Shacker, bass guitar, Don Brewer, drums, percussion, lead vocals, and then you got Todd producing, helping out with a little backing vocals and a little guitar, from what I understand. So, and a very strong track list on this one. This is a really good rock record, splattered with a little bit of kind of, a couple hit singles, right? So it starts off with Shinin' On. Good, gritty, hard rocker, atmospheric rocker to open up the album. Dunk, 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 all those effects on Mark's guitars. Catchy chorus, really good song. Good hard rockers to open up the album. And then you got a really engaging, very memorable song, which became a hit single for the band, To Get Back In. Oh, To Get Back In. Perfect example of kind of that kind of white soul that Grand Funk Railroad were doing around the mid-period, right? They were always really good at throwing in those R&B and soul and funk references into their hard rock stew. I think To Get Back In is a perfect example of that. Really catchy song. Really, really catchy song. And then, of course, you got their remake of the Locomotion. Everybody's doing a brand new dance now. Come on, baby, do the locomotion. I absolutely love Mark's vocals on this. It's such a playful song. And, the beginning it's got Mel's big bass, right? And then all of a sudden, comes in that screaming, fuzz-laden guitar solo, which just sounds like the speakers are like splitting into a million freaking pieces, right? I love their version of the Locomotion. Again, Grand Funk purists probably hate it. I get it. But I think it's just such a fun song. And it's like one of the maybe 3 or 4 songs from this band that my wife can stomach, right? So she always gets pretty jacked when I play that because she loves the original. And then you've got, for my money, what might be the sleeper cut on this album, Carry Me Through, which finishes off side 1. And that's about 5.5 minutes long. It's got a great chorus, but it's really atmospheric. Don's vocals are excellent on this. A lot of really good guitar solos and guitar textures. It's just a kind of mid-paced rocker, but it's just gutsy and emotional. And it's kind of heavy, too. Great song. Love the vocals on it. And just, man, and Mark is just really killing it on guitar on this album. he's always been one of my favorite guitar players. But he's not one of those like technical guys. He's got this tone, and I love his screaming leads, and every time he plays a guitar solo, you can tell he's just going for it. And I think he got even better as the years went on through the 70s. He's playing some really good lead guitar work on this album. So then kicking off side 2, second half of the CD, Please Man, really good rocker. Really good. It's not that long of a track. It's only, just over 3 minutes. But really good rock song. Fast-paced, good vocal, good chorus. Nice guitar riffs on this one. Like that a lot. Then you've got Oh, Mr. Pretty Boy. Probably my least favorite song on the album. I do like it. It's not my favorite out of all these tracks. Probably, definitely my least favorite. But Mr. Pretty Boy is kind of decent. Kind of bluesy, right? Kind of bluesy, kind of playful. Decent enough. Then there's the really cool Getting Over You. Another really good, interesting rocker that's got this great Moog solo from Craig Frost on it. Good guitar solos. Again, moody, atmospheric, but plenty rocking too. Like that a lot. And then the album ends with Little Johnny Hooker. Really cool, gutsy, emotional blues rocker of a tune. Again, featuring some scorching Mark Farner guitar work. Really good tune. Again, they really did a nice job going for that kind of bluesy vibe, obviously called Little Johnny Hooker. You want it to be kind of a bluesy song, but it's still pretty much a hard rock tune with a blues feel. Really, really strong track. Great vocals from Mark on it. Then you got, one of the kind of leftovers from this session, which you can get on the remaster, is a song called Destitute and Losing, which another great Mark Farner tune. Good, fast-paced hard rocker. Again, man, how did this get left off this album? I don't know. It's amazing when you look at some of these like classic albums from the 70s and even the 80s with these session tracks that never made it to the final cut of the album at the time, probably because of album length, because this album is what, let's see, 6, 10, 17. I mean, this thing is about 40 minutes or pushing 40 minutes, I should say. Actually, no, it's 33:52. So seriously, how did Destitute and Losing not make this album? I mean, it's that damn good. It fits right in with the rest of the tracks, and that makes like a perfect, near 40-minute album, right? Or, 38 or what have you. So there you have it. Shinin' On from Grand Funk Railroad follows up the big one here. We're an American band, but and this has some excellent tracks too. I tend to reach for this more these days, but I love them both. Again, we talk a lot about a lot of these selections that I picked so far in this series. A lot of the albums that I've talked about kind of go hand in hand. Like usually, like if I'm going to recommend latter period Grand Funk to someone, I generally say, well, these are the two you need to listen to. Because I think they were done very close to each other. They were both produced by Todd Rundgren. They both have a very similar feel to them, I think. And then you've got the couple, the handful that came after, and of course you got the ones that came before. So there's almost like there's 3 different eras here. There's the original trio stuff. Then you got the Rundgren era. Then you got the old, the kind of more commercial stuff that came after. But then, you got the Zappa produced album, which is really different than the 2 that came before it. Then you've got the final 2, which are kind of return back to their hard rock roots. So I guess when you talk about Grand Funk, there's many eras here, so to speak. But yeah, today it's all about my love for Shinin' On. Definitely a classic album, a good rock album. If you've never heard Shinin' On before, your homework assignment today is to go and listen to this wherever you listen to your music. Check it out. Report back in. Let us know what you thought. If you are a fan or like this album, or maybe you don't like this album, hit that rewind button. Check it out again. Today is all about listening to Shinin' On. Let us know what you think in the comments below. We'll have a couple more for you these coming up next few days. So stay tuned for that. And then, like I said, starting on the 6th, we've got favorite artists A through Z to go each and every day throughout the month of July. All letters of the alphabet, A through Z. Starting off with A, of course. So visit us on the web at www.seatranquility.org. We're on Facebook. We're on Twitter. Of course, we're here on YouTube all the damn time. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't. Click on that notification bell so you get an email every time we post a new video. There's also the link to our Ko-Fi page below if you want to make a channel donation. Oh, yeah. And if you want to go to our merch page, you can get Sea of Tranquility all the damn time shirts hot off the presses, as well as Chris Allo's I Got the Old shirts, Ryan Scow's More Will Than Skill shirts. I'm hoping to get together with those guys to give them their new shirts. We can shoot a little promo showing off all three of them by all three of us. So link below, check them out. Got all different sizes and whatnot. So hope everybody is pretty excited about that, because I know a lot of people were pretty excited to hear, to go through the whole process of voting, and talking about your favorite quotations here on the channel. And we've got 3 good ones on t-shirts now. So thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you later on. We've got Mr. Dennis DeYoung, former vocalist, keyboard player of Styx, solo artist. He's coming on here to talk about his brand new solo album, 26 East Volume 2. All right, and I'm beyond stoked to have Dennis on the channel, so stay tuned for that later on today. We've got the Monsters Den coming up tonight. We've also got, I'm hoping it's tonight. If it's not tonight, it'll be over the weekend or next week. Lynn Versace and I are going to get back together to rank the studio albums of the Steve Morse Band. So that's all coming up here on the channel. Of course, tomorrow morning, Martin Popoff and I in the Funhouse. Albums that we really like that most people seem to hate. Okay, so the stuff that you guys don't like, but we love. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of people who love the stuff that we love too, but the general consensus seems to be that these albums are kind of shitters, right? In the immortal words of Chris Allo. So that's what's coming up tomorrow morning, so stay tuned for that. And a lot more here on the channel. I am Pete Pardo. See you real soon. Bye-bye.